Hey, I just want to take a minute or two to give you some thoughts on the compensation plan. Something that's come to my mind over the last week or so as I've been really going deep in the compensation plan document, creating a tool for the field. But in doing that, a lot of things have become really clear. You know, the simplicity of the pay plan at planner, manager, and senior manager is actually by design, because the entire plan in Korea was built on the team leader rank. The complexity of the comp plan really begins at team leader, and for good reason, because team leader is seen as the optimal position, the entrepreneur, the business owner. So I've had some thoughts. You're always a team leader. This is the mindset, always a team leader. Get to team leader, always a team leader. That's one thought. The other thought is you keep recruiting wide until you become a team leader. And that's when you can start to work deep, where you start creating more team leaders coming up. And in order to be a director, of course, you have to have 3 team leaders in 3 separate legs. They can be at your first level, second level, third level, really. But the whole idea is to create a strong team leader with frontline team leaders and a whole team leader group that's always moving through. But in doing that, you'll always have direct lines that are planners, that are managers, that are senior managers. You never stop, right? So I wanted to give you an idea, just simple numbers that I think could be something that could be helpful. So I'm going to walk you through that. Okay, so in the spirit of always a team leader, if you'll just roll with me for a moment while I walk you through this map. The whole idea is this compensation plan is built on the team leader at the 45%. Why? Because every single sale that ever happens in Riman generates a 45% commission. And it's a matter of where you are in the rank, where you are in the system, as to how you collect it. And as a team leader, you're always recruiting people in, just as you did when you were a planner, senior manager, or manager, senior manager, whatever. You're always adding to your garden of possible humans that are going to grow up and build the business with you. So in that spirit, let me walk you through a couple of thoughts. So let's say that you're a team leader, you're making 45%. You have a planner direct to you, and they're hustling, and they're doing 1,000 BP. And they go get their friend to join them to do the business with them. And that person does 1,000 BP. These are hustling planners, right? So what does that look like? Well, this planner doing 1,000 BP is making 10%. But every sale they make, they generated 45%. Why is that important? Because they take 10% of the 1,000 BP. So they make $100. But the other 35% flows to the next line. And in this case, all the way to the team leader, which is you. So you're making 35% on their efforts. And then if that planner goes and gets a planner of their own, here's the cool thing. When planners build planners underneath them, they make 5% on what they do. So what that means is that planner has generated 45% sales as well. And they do 1,000 BP. So this planner is also making $100 for their efforts, but that other 35% is flowing. So 5% is left with the planner above them, and the other 30% flows up to you, the team leader above them. So understand this, that when you're constantly bringing new people into the business, even as planners, it's in your interest, because if they're doing each 1,000 BP, you're making $650 a month from their efforts, and they're hustling too. So that means they're going to grow into managers, and that's where we're going to go next. All right, stay with me as I put this little puzzle piece together. We literally just talked about the power of a planner and continuously putting that seed into your garden. As a team leader, always a team leader at 45%, as you continue to grow planners who bring planners, it will feed you a constant stream of not only income, but where your growth is going to come from, right? So if you find a planner who can hustle at 1,000 BP, they're likely going to find another one that's like them. And so you have a little machine starting to build. So that's got some inherent value, right? We just said $650 a month, just one of them, and you'll have many. So if that person's hustling and they move on up to a manager, the cool thing is a manager starts to build a business. So if that person becomes a manager, they're going to replicate that, right? And let's just say, again, for simple math, that there's 3 planners on the manager's team, each doing 1,000 BP. So pretty soon they're going to move on up to senior manager. But a manager with 3 planners doing 1,000 BP each, and that manager is doing 2,000 BP, and one of those planners has a planner, you've got a 6,000 BP business happening right here. And roughly speaking, you can apply the 20% difference between the 45% of the value of the sales that are happening at each level, but let's call it this level direct to you, and 20% of that's going to come up to you. I've done the math like 10 different ways to figure this all out, and it always ends up being about the same. There's one little secret in this process, though. The planner of a planner in a manager, that manager does not have access to anything beyond their first level. So if there are planners at second level to a manager direct to you, it's actually worth more money to you. It's a little interesting secret. This planner generates 45% sales and takes 10% for herself, and then gives 5% in sponsorship commission to her upline planner. The balance of the available 45%, which is 30%, flows past the manager and up to you. So while the manager and the first level planners are worth the 20% combined to you, that second level ends up being worth 30%. So a business like this, if you could build a business like this with a manager doing 2,000, 3 planners doing 1,000 BP each, with a planner doing 1,000 BP each, what that's worth to you is about $1,300 a month. So you're a team leader. You've got ever-growing planner lines, ever-growing manager lines. One planner line with a planner doing great is worth $650. One manager with 3 planners and a planner doing great is worth $1,300. And then you start to create the next level. Okay, so we're continuing on this path. We just went through planners and managers. And all I'm doing is taking this puzzle piece, making it this puzzle piece, making it this puzzle piece, fitting in against always a team leader. Even as a director, always a team leader, right? And so a senior manager has just more of this going on at any given time. So again, for simple math purposes, you can look at the value of a senior manager's business to be about 10%, the split, right? They're 30 and 5 or 35%, you're 45%, that's 10%. No matter how you do the math, starting from this level on up, it all ends up being the same thing. So in this process, if you had a senior manager direct to you, and that senior manager was doing 2,000 BP per month, and she had 3 managers doing what we said over here, which is 2,000 BP, 2,000 BP, 2,000 BP. And each of those managers had the same as over here, 3 planners doing 1,000 BP, 1,000 BP, and 1,000 BP, with one planner having a planner doing 1,000 BP. What those 3 managers and those 12 planners roughly constitute is a 20,000 BP business. So I'm just using this for simple math purposes. So you can check my math and see this. These people make 10%, these people make 25%, these people make 35%. They get the team incentive. They do not, all the math structures that are in the comp plan, right? But here's what happens. It's senior manager that unlocks the commissions beyond the first level. So they get to take their 30% plus 5% of all of the stuff happening. So what that ends up doing for a senior manager with that business, they end up making about $1,900 a month. Again, I just did this on this math. Following this math to this math, to this math. So you can double check all of this, but in a conversation with a prospect, a planner's roughly doing what I said, going to be making $100 a month at 1,000 BP. A manager doing 2,000 BP, but having those planners is going to make roughly $1,000 a month. And a senior manager with those teams replicating is going to be making about $1,900 a month. And the value of that senior manager to you as a team leader is one senior manager doing 20,000 BP is basically worth $2,000 a month to you. All right, let me put a cap on this. So this is all based on the team leader, always a team leader. The more I spent time digging into this, the more I realized this is the whole thing. And you want to basically replicate this over and over and over again. And even at director, you're always doing this. You're always recruiting a planner. You're always recruiting frontline managers. You're always building senior managers, and you're always creating team leaders. It's the name of the game. So for me, I based it on 1,000 BP, and I felt that was reasonable. That's $250 or $250 a month order. That's Radiant collection plus a couple cleansers, right? Or Bousse Boo. Everybody wants to do the Bousse Boo. That's our most popular product line. It's $150 plus cleansers. And then Radiant is an easy step up. The body cream, the hair, the shampoo, like, come on, this stuff is amazing, and it's a one try and you love it. And so I think this is a reasonable statement. So if you love the products personally and they're making a difference, you're going to tell people they're going to buy it. So to get to 1,000 BP in a month doesn't seem an impossible thing. Plus it makes you $100, and if you get a planner to do it with you, 150, and that's not enough for anybody. So somebody's going to want to do that to make $500 a month, because that's the magic number. And then if you can do 500, you know you can do 50,000. Like that's the real math that people talk about, and that's how they make a difference in life. But the products have to make a difference in life to people as well. So, and they do. So when those two things are together, this becomes an amazing thing. This is based on simple math. So the piece I want to put together for you is that a senior manager with this simple math at 1,000 BP, and the only alteration is 2,000 BP at a manager level and 2,000 BP at a senior manager level. That's not what people do, but that's what I said. And then I also said that you as a team leader would do at least 4,000 BP. So here's how this all stubs together. A senior manager, based on that equation, is creating a 20,000 BP business. They themselves are making $1,900 on the way that they get their sponsorship commission, team commission, their rebate reimbursement, and their retail commissions. All of that, based on this math, would generate $1,900. So that's a cool statement to have. You want to make a couple $1,000, become a senior manager, have a 20,000 BP business. 3 20,000 BP businesses are worth $6,000 a month to you personally. So if that's true, why not have 12 senior manager businesses underneath you? Why not have, why not? You can. So, but in this case, three are worth 6,000 to you. Now, that also unlocks some things for you as a team leader, because it's more than 30,000 BP. So that either has to be generated by you, or if it's your second level team leader group, you have to at least do 10,000. But listen, you have to do 10,000 to maintain your team leader level anyway to get paid out. So you don't want to mess with that. The 70% rule is still in play, but this is all customer driven. So you're going to be well in excess of that. And you have to maintain your 5 active customers per month. So those basic things are happening. But if you're in the game talking, that's going to happen anyway. So here's what this is worth to you personally. And I think this is an important conversation. 3 senior managers is going to be worth $6,000 a month. If you're doing 4,000 BP, that's going to be worth at 45% $1,800 a month. If you had 1 frontline manager with a team that's performing, I said that's going to be worth $1,300 a month. And if you had 1 planner with a planner performing, that's going to be worth $650 a month. That's a never-ending popcorn machine over here that you can continue to build and add money every month as you want to. But this is the name of the game. All of that plus the incentives that you unlock. So there's 3 incentives as a team leader. You get team incentives, achievement incentives, and management incentives. The team incentive is 50% of the senior manager's team commission.
And in this case, at 2,000 BP and a $20,000 business, they're making, each senior manager is making $300. You get half of that, again, as a team incentive. If you have 3 of them, that's worth $900 to you. If you have 12 of them, you can figure it out. But bottom line is, that opens up the team incentive. But also, it opens up the more important one, which is the achievement incentive. So at 30,000 BP, the first 30,000, you get an $1,800 bonus on that. And then your second 30,000 BP and every 30,000 thereafter is worth $900 a month. So let's just do the math, okay? 1,800 from your personal sales, plus 6,000 from your senior managers, plus 1,300 from your frontline manager, your one, and your one planner with a planner, plus your team incentives based on this math, that's $12,900. Why not have 4 of that? But we'll say that's $152,000 a year income on simple math, doable math. So I think this is maybe the coolest comp plan with products I've ever seen. So go get it. It's all yours to get.